In today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 3 summer niches for you to get into for Amazon KDP Publishing and Audible ACX for 2022. What is going on, guys? Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dane. On this channel, I talk all about self-publishing books on Amazon, on entrepreneurship, and just lifestyle in general. So if that kind of thing interests you, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on the video, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. In today's video, I'm going to be going over the top 3 summer niches for you to get into for Amazon KDP Publishing and Audible ACX for 2022. And I'm talking about publishing books in these niches because they do have a ton of potential. And looking at these 3 niches here, I definitely think these are going to pop off over the next few months, especially the last niche. It's probably my favorite one out of the 3. And when I'm going to be going over these 3 niches, I'm going to be talking about particular sub niches that you can make, and they're kind of sub niches and keywords that you can make books about within these niches. Okay, I'm not just going to be throwing niches out there and then making you think for yourself, which is not a bad thing, but I'll be helping you a little bit by giving you the sub niches within those niches that I think will have the most potential moving into the summer of 2022. Okay, so I'll be going over the niches on a slideshow here, and I'll be talking about them and why I think they are high potential for 2022. So without further ado, let's just show my computer here. I'll be going through those niches, walking you through them, and showing you why I like them so much. So let's do this. Okay, looking at niche number 1 here, as you can see on my screen, is travel and tourism. Okay, and I personally think this is going to be a very popular niche, especially in the summer, even in the spring. Right now, this is starting to heat up. And why is this? It's because obviously there's less restrictions. People are able to fly now. They can go different places. I know people have been able to fly for a while now, but it's just a little bit easier to get to places because there's not all these tests, all these different things you have to do, okay? It's a little bit easier to travel now, so I think this year is gonna be the year that travel and tourism starts to, overall, obviously the industry, but in terms of books and niches on KDP, travel and tourism, I think are gonna start to do better and better and better as we get deeper into the year, okay? And especially for summer, because summer is when people like to travel the most, obviously, and I just personally think this will be a great niche moving into 2022, the summer. So, let's look at what I think would be the best sub niches for you to get into in terms of creating books within the travel and tourism niche on KDP. So for niche number 1, these are the 4 main sub niches. There's tons more you can get into. Trust me, I've seen tons of people, and especially a few of my friends have gotten into a few travel niches just recently on Audible, and they've been doing very well as well. So don't count on Audible when it comes to this. Both KDP and Audible can do very well when it comes to travel and tourism. And looking at these 4 things here, these are kind of a general breakdown of what I think will do the best within this niche, okay? So looking at the first one, travel guides, okay, by country and by state. I've seen so many of these kinds of books, and this is definitely a sub niche because you can go even deeper and you can make it very specific. You can see I have by country, so you can do a USA travel guide, you could do a California travel guide by state, you could do a worldwide travel guide, my favorite countries, top 20 countries to visit this year. There's tons of different opportunities when it comes to travel guides, and if you just look up travel guides on the Amazon KDP, you can scroll through the first page and you'll see there's tons of different options on that first page, and you click into it, you'll see it's like a different country, a different state, a different province, whatever it may be that people are looking into. And travel guides don't have to be exclusive to just like countries and states. It could be like a travel cookbook guides. You can find different travel cultural foods to make, whatever it may be, okay? There's tons of options when it comes to travel guides, and if this is something that interests you, it's something that I think has a lot of potential. Looking at the next one is RV living. RV living is something that's gotten more and more popular over the past few years because it's obviously a lot more affordable than buying houses these days, and you can adventure while you're living in your mobile home, okay? So an RV living is kind of a keyword. It's not really a sub niche, but there are niches, or keywords I should say, within RV living that people have made books about because they get more and more specific. Budget vacationing, I think, is something that could definitely pop off this year. There's not a whole lot of results for it when you search on KDP. This is just kind of me speculating. But in my opinion, people are going to be looking for cheaper vacationing, whether it be within their home country, not buying flights, taking, I don't know, the train, whatever it may be. Budget vacationing could be something that does pretty well. And finally, looking at the travel business in general, because there's 2 sides of travel. There's tourism, there's tourists who are paying for their travel, and then there's the travel business, which is profiting off of that. And when you look on KDP, there's definitely other ways to make books about tourism that aren't just from the tourist perspective. Think about it from the business perspective. Maybe it's a cruise line, maybe it's a accommodation thing, okay? Finding cheap flights. There could be some kind of book about finding cheap flights, suggesting accommodations. Okay, travel business is definitely obviously a very, very big, this tourism business, travel business in general is a massive niche when you think about it worldwide, but funneling that into KDP and creating books about it is definitely a way to do it. And think about the branding potential with these kinds of books that you can make. You can make a full-on website with tons of travel information, all of your travel books, all of your travel recommendations, make a blog about it, put affiliate links on the blog. You can make tons of money within this niche. So this is niche number 1, travel and tourism for the summer of 2022. Niche number 2, as you can see on screen here, is diets, weight loss, and cookbooks. And if you're to think about a summer niche, it's probably the one that you thought about in your head before I started making this video. Dieting, weight loss, people like to get fit. They like to look good for the summer months when they're vacationing, whatever it may be. And cookbooks are kind of go hand in hand with that kind of thing. You can make a diet cookbook or just cooking in general, okay? So I'll give you some ideas right now with the niches. So looking at the niches, you can see my first one I have here is to do with cookbooks, the cookbook kind of niche. Sub niche could be like seasonal cookbooks, all right? And when you think seasonal, when I think about summer, I think about things like barbecuing, okay? Barbecuing cookbooks. There's tons of cookbooks on Amazon that are related to barbecuing. I've also seen tons of cookbooks that are related to like just smoking, like not smoking like cigarettes, but like smoking food. Tons of stuff on there in terms of cookbooks. So the opportunity with cookbooks on KDP has always been there. The only problem with cookbooks on KDP is that you have to usually have images of your recipes that you're putting into the cookbook. So this kind of holds people back from making cookbooks, but at the same time, you look at it from a different perspective, that means there's going to be less competition for you to compete against. So if you're willing to put pictures into your cookbooks, then you can definitely get in there and take advantage of this niche, because I think it definitely has a lot of potential for the summer this year. Other things, obvious, like these are pretty obvious ones, but I want to mention them in the video because how could I not? Like fitness and exercise guides, and workout books, how to get six-pack abs, whatever it may be for the summer. Those kind of books will do very well. Diet techniques, methods, okay? Dieting is always been very, very popular in KDP, and it just gets more and more popular every single year. And definitely during the summer months, and obviously at the start of the year when people are setting New Year's resolutions, I usually talk about cookbooks and diet books, but moving into the summer, they also get popular again because people are looking to get fit. Like I said, they want to look good for the summer months. Finally, this is just kind of a keyword, to be honest with you guys, weight loss hypnosis. I've seen it on Audible quite a few times, and it definitely has a lot of potential. I haven't looked into it before. I'm assuming it's similar to meditation style books. So meditation books do very well on Audible. Weight loss hypnosis, again, probably doesn't do very well on Audible because it is something that's kind of similar to meditation. But I just kind of want to put it on here because it's something that people are probably looking to get into for the summer months of 2022. So those are the 4 ones. And again, you can definitely make a good brand related. You can make a brand around all of these niches, like a big brand about diets, weight loss, and cookbooks that would do very well if you had all these kinds of books falling within it. Okay. And I talk about brands on my channel and other videos. I won't go into detail about how branding and creating books within that brand works right now. But if you want to look at my channel, I have tons of videos about it if you're interested in looking into that. And niche number 3, and in no particular order, this is probably my favorite one though, is hiking, camping, and prepping. And these outdoor activity kind of gritty style books do very, very well on KDP, all right? And that's just from my experience. I've had a few books within these niches in the past, and they've done very well. They've been some of my best sellers. So especially during the summer months, when this kind of thing starts to heat up, people start doing this more, hiking, camping, prepping, whatever it may be, this kind of thing does very well during the summer months. So I wanted to put it as niche number 3 on this list. So let's look at the sub niches I have for this. So the sub niches are hiking guides, okay? And hiking guides are very similar to travel guides, but you're thinking about like hiking, trails, what kind of trails you do, what would you wear on these trails? Just guides like that. I've seen them on KDP and I've seen them do very well. Camping, RV guides, again, similar to the other guides, but they're for camping and RVing specifically. So a little bit more specific and a little bit more geared towards this kind of niche, which is just outdoors and sports kind of thing. And camping niches and RV guides, or just not guides, but camping and RV books in general do very well on KDP. RV living, again, okay, it kind of relates to this as it does travel as well. And camping kind of relates to travel as well. This camping could be a sub-level niche of travel in general. But looking at this, I wanted to pair them and separate them. But RV living, again, something that can do very, very well. And it's very, very, very popular. Like where to go RVing, how to set up your RV for long-term travel. Tons of stuff to do with RV living. Off the grid living, one other thing that's very, very popular. It's similar to camping, obviously, but you're living literally off the grid. So something that's kind of outdoorsy. People will get into it in the summer because it's easier to do. Survival prepping, the last one here, definitely a very good niche. There's tons of niches within survival prepping, like canning and just stuff like that. You can do drying foods, right? You can do tons of stuff within the survival prepping niche. And if you look up prepping on Amazon, you'll see tons and tons of books with tons of different niches, tons of different focuses, tons of different keywords that you can get into. So if this kind of thing interests you, niche number 3 is a very interesting one. And the fans and the people that are interested in this niche are kind of die hard. So if you made a brand about this niche, you could have a very, very strong following that would most likely buy anything you sell to them, okay? So this is a very good niche if you're interested in that kind of thing. Trust me, I've had a book within this niche before and it did very, very well. So if you're looking to get into something for 2022, the summer of 2022, this is a great one to look into. Anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. But before I let you go, I do want to let you know that I do have a 100% free Facebook group that's all about self-publishing with a bunch of people in it. There's actually close to 6,000. I think there's over 6,000 people in it now. If you click the first link in the description down below, it'll take you to that group. You can join it 100% free. And when you join it, you'll see pinned at the very top of the group is my 5-step guide to getting started with self-publishing. So if you're brand new to self-publishing, you want to get into this, you're interested in it, it's the perfect guide to start learning from it. And it's the perfect group too. It's a Facebook group. There's tons of people in there asking questions all the time, communicating with each other, connecting with one another. I am answering questions in there. So if you have any questions about self-publishing, it's the perfect place to do that as well. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you subscribe, drop a like on the video, and hit the notification bell so you know when I post new videos. I try to post new videos about self-publishing, online entrepreneurship, and just lifestyle every single week. So if that kind of thing interests you, again, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in next week's video.